What's up, everybody? This is DJ Lyon Head, and this is the Support Your Boy podcast. Who do we have here? We have a returning guest, one of the greatest guests we've had in the past. What can I say about him? He is definitely a jewel of Sacramento, a man that should be protected within the hip hop community. A man who I believe is on a straight course to, I would say, fame, whether he wants it or not.
I received that.
You know what I'm saying? This is, I was told somebody was saying La Russell is one of the most positive artists to come out of the Bay Area. This is the most positive artist that came out of Sac. I would say the most undisputed positive rapper that Sacramento has ever had.
Yeah.
Making a change one listener at a time. Moving forward, he is rebuilding the culture within the hip hop community and within black culture also. He is the one. God Mode's only number one person, not only rapper, but activist, man that moves and does what he says and says what he does. The only Mr. Motherfucking Lewis.
Right there, for reals.
Yeah, man, because it's true. You know, it's true. You are the most positive rapper in Sacramento. You're not the only one. I will tell you that.
Definitely.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about this because when we did the first episode, you were kind of like on your own with it, but you really got a movement now.
Yeah,
you got a team and a movement, and I can tell it's just getting bigger, and your team is getting it's getting infectious. Right.
Yeah.
So, let us know a little bit more about this team that I'm talking about here.
Yes. So I have partnered up with Say Less, LJ, Matthew, Jazzy, Lil Nuke. There's some more people that we have been working with, but those people that I named is kind of like the people that I'm just been connected with musically. Definitely still rocking with the Renee collection. She's always helpful, always there to just help me organize and help me with my back end stuff. But it's as far as the artists that I'm working with, yes, those artists and Matthew Moore, he's definitely just helpful support, so yeah, man, we just been building though. We've been building.
And I really enjoy seeing your progression. And you're just gonna get higher and higher.
Definitely.
I know it.
Definitely.
I'm not only a person who works with you, who's done music with you in the past, but I believe in your movement.
Thank you.
I do. I guess the next question to ask you, if someone wants to join what you guys are doing, but at the same time, they still have a little bit of negative kind of tone to their music. Like, for example, they don't really rap about killing and do something like that, but they rap more about what they've seen in that kind of era. Is that more of a could that be be something that would hurt their chances of joining, being more positive, or help?
I think if as long as they're taking the situations that they've been in and talking about it in a lesson, like hey, this is kind of what I've been through, or just kind of story, like just talking about it, in a way of like, this is like I said, this is what I've been through. They could definitely still be a part of what we got going on, but as far as with shows, we're trying to keep all it. We're doing our best to keep the shows positive. You know what I mean?
Right.
The lyrics, so no cussing, because children are going to be around.
Yep.
Elderly people are going to be around. So we want to keep the lyrics positive, and that way we're universal with what we're saying. We can go to the schools, we can go to a church, we can go to the clubs, we can go to all these different places. So it's like we definitely want to keep it that way. But even if, you know, let's just say you do some cussing in your music, it's like, yeah, we can still work if that's what you do, you know, and you want to put it online and do your thing like that. Yeah, we can still collab, we can still work, as long as it's still in a positive direction, you know, in an empowering light, you know.
Yeah. So, for those people who knew you way before who you are now, people who knew you when you first started rapping,
right?
Would they tell us you've always been a positive rapper, or did you start up like the first time you started rapping, it wasn't all that positive?
Nah, it's always been positive.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it can't be nobody like, man, he was really on some gun, shoot him up, bang, bang
never,
in the beginning. Never on that.
Nah.
Okay.
You know, I used to cuss in my music. You know, I used to smoke in my videos. I used to, you know, kind of just be in that space with it, but I just stopped doing those types of things for the same reason why, you know, like I said, for the shows, it's like, you know, I know I got little people watching, you know, they looking at what I'm doing, and I'm giving people motivation. You know what I mean? So it's like, if people see me doing something, I know it's gonna motivate them to do it, you know, in a certain light. So I got real, you know, just more conscious and aware of, you know, how I'm projecting myself online, you know.
Yeah. To touch on that, do you I always thought about that too. Like, at first I always thought that when you do hip hop music, whatever a rapper says does not affect the community. It's just telling a story.
Right.
You know, I'm just telling a story. My point of view, I'm not no role model when I do my music. So if I talk about some, you know, shoot 'em up, bang bang stuff, nobody gonna take me all that serious until, you know, I would say as I got older. As I got older, I started to realize your lyrics do matter, and they do affect the community.
Right.
And it kind of shows.
It does.
So, I guess my question to you is, well, I had it written down because this was kind of going through my mind all day. Do you think that, well, yeah, let me say this really quick, because this is why I think this is a good question. For example, the most famous rapper out of the Bay Area is, of course, the Russell, and a person who also is making a lot of noise is Stunner Man.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Stunner Man.
Yeah. But have you noticed none of them are talking about killing each other?
Right.
They're positive.
Right.
So in that kind of sense, knowing in the Bay Area that this positive kind of movement is starting to catch on, do you think crime-based music and hip-hop is on its way out?
It's dead.
Hey!
It's dead. Crime-based music, all that stuff is dead. It's dead. You know? And the reason why I say it's dead, even if it's in, you're not gonna be at the Golden One Center. You know, You're not gonna be at the Arco Arena. You know what I mean? Whatever arena that, you know, that these big people are doing shows at. Like, most of the time they don't want no shoot 'em up, bang bang music in there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would say it's dead. You know what I mean? It's a harder, to me, I would say it's a harder way to make money and just really go somewhere with your music for the future, for the long run of what you're doing. So it's dead.
I feel you.
You know,
I definitely feel you. I do believe that some of the crime-based music, it will limit what you can do in the hip-hop world. Right. For example, you ain't jumping on a lot of shows,
right,
with that kind of music. Yes, you will have, you can build a fan base within your community. And sometimes you can even ascend higher, for example, like Mozzie did.
Right,
but,
right.
But I'm not saying you can't make it in the world of music, doing crime-based music. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that I noticed that there's a trend of that type of music not getting pushed forward by the people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the people love what Russell is doing. They love what Stunner Man is doing.
Right.
And once everybody in the Bay, because I'm not people in the Bay already do know who you are, so I get a hold on to who Mr. Lewis is. Same thing.
Right.
So I believe that your movement is on the rise.
Definitely.
And what's going on in the Bay is pure proof of it.
Yes, sir. And like I said, just it's dead because, you know, like you said, we're not pushing that. So it's dead. You know, the community ain't really pushing that. There's not too many people in the community that you can sit down and talk to that want this for themselves and their community. Like, you know, it might be a couple of people that just like, yeah, nah, we with this gang banging and we trying to gang bang, you know, but most of the people don't want that. You know what I mean? They want to have something safe to go to. You know, they want to have something positive for the children. If they got children, they want to have something safe and positive for the children to go to, for the elders to go to, for us to go to in general. We want to go to barbecues and parties and not have to worry about them getting shot up, or not have to worry about me beefing with a family member or somebody up the street. You know what I mean? Like, we want to live in a mind state of peace and harmony within ourselves. So it's dead, y'all. All that stuff is dead.
It's crazy because it's hard to disagree with you looking at what's going on in the community. I mean, there are some people who can tell a story about what they've seen, and that's okay.
Right. And
there's some people who may say, my cousin have done this, but you know what I mean? But I agree with you, especially to ones who use the politicking in hip hop, the street politics.
Right.
They kind of, I've noticed that they mixed it with their boasting. It's like, if you mess with me and the gang going blah, 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 blah.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that type of music, I kind of agree with you, because when a rapper starts to do that, they gonna want to test you. You said you and your crew do this.
Right.
Let's see about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it can bring on that kind of situation.
Right.
The other question I had that was based on that kind of like, well, that was like, do you think decriminalizing hip hop will help or hurt the culture, and why?
Decriminalizing hip hop is
basically taking crime out of hip hop, period.
That's going to help the culture, because now we can focus on things that have meaning, that have purpose, that are going to move us forward. You know what I mean? Like, we can now start thinking about things that matter. You know what I mean? So it's like, what we're doing with music now is adding our reality to it. You know what I mean? We're talking about what really matters. We're talking about rebuilding the culture. We're talking about health. We're talking about family togetherness. We're talking about the trauma that we've been through and how we gonna heal from that, and all of those different types of things. So I feel like when you take out the criminal activities from the music, you know, now you have to start talking about something else, you know, that matters. Most of the time, it's like, what else are you going to talk? If you're not talking about, you know, the gang and you know, I mean, yeah, people are going to talk about money. People are always going to talk about money. And that's always motivational to hear, you know, people talking about getting money and, you know, staying on top of their business and, you know, doing well for themselves. It's like, that's something that we want to hear, you know. That's something that's good for us. That's motivational. We need to be on top of our money. That's going to help with the family, you know. It's like yeah, you start talking about money, you start talking about, you know, holding down the family, you know, holding down just things that matter. So yeah,
I agree. So for those out here who are listening and who does crime-based music or talks about crime-based music, we're not downing you. We're just saying that in this world at this time, we can tell that the fans want something different.
They do.
You know, there's been so much of it, and people are saying that the hip hop is watered down. It depends where you look. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie, most of the crime-based songs will make you feel like there's a lot of water in that Kool-Aid.
Definitely. Everybody's saying the same thing.
Yep.
Everybody talking the same. It's like it's really a culture behind how they're doing what they're doing. You know, everybody sounds the same. The lingo is the same. How they dressing is the same. You know, the beats is the same. You know, and everything else that aligns with it that they're pushing is like the same. You know, the same. Everybody got them chains that's like this big, and they, you know, they got the big old diamonds. You know, everybody just look the same. Everybody just doing the same stuff. So it's like there's not too much individuality in it. But I mean, you know, there's always somebody doing something different. So
yeah, but I that's why I really respect the people who do things different, because it's a risk. Most rappers don't want to be, I've always felt this, most rappers don't want to be called, oh, you on that other shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once they start saying
outcast.
Yeah, you know? You're an outcast. You on that, he on some other shit. He's on that other shit type of music.
Right.
Then you think that nobody's gonna fuck with you. But at the same time, if you decide to not do you and try to do some, you know, whatever they're doing type music, yeah, you can sooner or later you're gonna figure out you're not real.
Right. People are, because it's like you're gonna have to live. Most people want to see you living out what you saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you really about that, if that's what you're talking about, let us see. You know what I mean? We trying to see about that. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, people out here, that's they trying to call you up on that. Like, okay, what is he about? You know? So
I like the fact that you're doing this, that you do this type of music. Here's something I heard. So I heard online that nobody supports local artists because they see you in places they go every day regularly.
Right.
Once they see you make moves out of town, they start believing in you.
Right.
Do you agree with this or not?
I do. I agree with it. It's like when people see me going to Vegas, they like, oh, he in Vegas. He in Vegas doing street shows. You know what I mean?
Check his album out.
Right. You know, so it's like I agree with that. You know, people, when they feel like you can't be reached or you on a higher level than them, you're not in the same space that they're in. Now they feel like, oh, that's my boy. I know.
I went to school with him.
You know what I mean?
I went to school with him.
You know, oh, he on the news. You know, oh, you know, it's like I ain't never been on the news, but you on the news. Oh, bro, that's clean. You know what I mean? So it's like people respect that type of stuff. But if you are just, like you said, locally just doing your thing, people just kind of like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Lewis over there. You know, he just
he be doing that around town,
doing his rap thing. You know,
yeah.
And that's how people be acting sometimes downtown. Like it's like people be walking by me downtown, and some of the other people that I have down there, like what we doing is just normal. Like they see it all the time. Like you know, and I just be like, people just on some other stuff. You know, so
yeah, I noticed that you do a lot of the shows downtown. Now, this what's so dope about that, because you know, I remember you were talking about a while ago. Sometimes when you want people to hear your music, you got to go to the people. I remember you said that.
Yeah.
So, how has that benefited you compared to before you start doing that?
Man, so before I started doing that, I was always kind of, you know, waiting on a show. You know, I was always waiting on some money, you know, or using online. Well, during the time, I wasn't really big on online. My online presence wasn't that big when I first started. So, yeah, like, so that just really opened up all of those other things for me. Like now I can get straight to the people. You know, I can get straight to the people. I can make money out here. You know, meeting so many different people, you know, and now what I'm learning is like, okay, this is an actual show. Like I can actually have a show out here, like, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I like it because the places that you go, the fact that you can go to where the Kings play and they come out,
right,
and they have the opportunity to not only hear you, but get a chance to look your music up or even buy your music.
Yeah.
Is great because I will tell you that I've been listening to a lot what's going on when it comes to the streaming world. Universal is buying up everything. Now they're trying to buy. Now they just bought. Forget the name of the company. But anyways, but by buying this new company that Universal has bought, they bought Song Trust and CD Baby.
Wow. I didn't know
So
that.
now by doing that, when you try to get your royalties, it's going through the label.
Right.
So when you start going, when you try to go and use CD Baby to put your, as far as that music, it's going to the labels. They get, not only that, they got the highest percentage of Spotify anyway. So when you start doing music, so it's starting to look like for independent artists, if you're doing anything online, they're going to get a cut.
Right.
So I believe that direct to consumer is the best way to go to move as an independent artist, because it's starting to prove that online I could put a music song out all day,
Right.
but they gonna find a way to get it cut.
Definitely.
So
and that's what I feel like doing street shows is. You know
exactly
what I mean?
where I was
Doing
getting
street
to.
shows was definitely direct to consumer before I realized what directly to consumer was. You know what I mean? Before LaRussell really made it clearer to everybody that this is the way. That's what I was doing, but I didn't have my hand on it. Like, okay, this is what I need, and I still don't. Like, I'm still trying to take advantage of it more and more and more. Like, trying to make it just work for me the best way I can. But just seeing what LaRussell has done with Even, the Even platform that he's used, and
Bandcamp,
even having your own website, having your own website and selling CDs still, USB drives, anything that you can put music on. They got the what is that? The QR code. You can use QR codes to get your music on. So yes, I definitely feel like if we trying to make money with music, we're definitely gonna have to go the direct to consumer route.
Yep.
Products of some type. You got to be making some shirts. You got to have something for people to buy from you. So I definitely feel like, yes, this is the future for us, unless we want things to be slow and we getting pennies and cents, less than a penny on the dollar, unless you booming like that. Yeah, you can just live off of that, but I just feel like that's a harder grind than just getting a CD to somebody. Like, hey, I got this CD, or let's say USB drive, and I bring it to somebody. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be $5. I can bring it to one person and get a yes right off the back, and they like, oh, here's $5. Let me get your CD. Or I can go to somebody and be like, hey, listen to my music on Spotify, and they go listen to it, and that same one person, I got less than a penny for that. It don't make no sense.
Right. Exactly. So let's go ahead and pivot away from the streaming world part of the music streaming world, period. Let's get into the merch world of Mr. Lewis.
Right.
God mode. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. So I watched your last interview of In the Clouds with Fabian, and shout out to him for In the Clouds.
Yeah. Shout out to Fabian.
He explained. He had you explain what God mode is. If anybody wants to know what the meaning behind God mode, check out In the Clouds podcast. It's out now. Well, the guest was Mr. Lewis, and he'll give you more explanation about that. What I want to know is, within the merch of God mode, is there any chance that we can get some fitted hats? Better yet, can we get some shoes, like some Timbs?
Man.
With the God mode design.
Right, that would be. I have thought about doing shoes, you know what I mean? Getting into that realm, but I just haven't found anything that fits my style that much, and I want to do something more exclusive than what I've been seeing. There is a style of shoes that I've seen that I'm like, oh, I like that style. I could do something like that, like Kyrie shoes. You know,
yeah.
You seen Kyrie's? Man, he's doing his thing with his shoes.
Damn.
Man, I think that's so dope that he has his own brand of shoes. You know what I mean? He's not signed through Nike. He's not signed through Adidas. None of that. You know, he's doing his own thing, and it's cultural. You know what I mean? Like the way that they look is super dope. But yeah, I definitely want to get some shoes. I definitely want to get some fitted hats. The reason why I haven't really went the fitted hat route is because I feel like for hats, it looks better stitched than with the vinyl. You know, and I've been using vinyl on a lot of my stuff at home. I have done hats before, but it was like more of the dad hats. So yeah, I want to get some stuff stitched. So I haven't really got into that realm of things, so I just haven't really messed with it like that. So, but in the future, I promise you, there's gonna be some shoes, there's gonna be some hats, we're gonna have some socks. I'm gonna do everything. You know what I mean?
Even if you couldn't get all the words, I'll just get the GM right there on my shoe. You know what I mean?
I'm doing the sun too. I'm just doing the sun symbol because you know how like Nike has, you know, the Nike sign, just the Nike sign as their what they're putting on the shoe, you know. So I'm gonna do the same thing with my son. Like that's gonna be on the shoe, more than, you know, having God mode on them or something like that. So I'm moving towards that too. So I'm just slow with it. Yeah, I really want somebody who is a designer and in that fashion realm to really take God mode and bring it to that level, though. You know what I mean? And I'll just work directly with them, and you know, I shoot the commercials. We do something like that. So yeah, I'm kind of in that space right now with a lot of the things I do, even with recording videos. It's like I want to be able to hand the camera off to somebody else and be like, hey bro, here take the camera, here's a computer if you need it, whatever you need, hey, just shoot, you know what I mean?
There you go. So is there a chance, because I seen you've had hoodies, t-shirts, jackets, socks, is there a chance we can possibly in the future get a God mode fashion show?
Yes, it's coming. 2025 for surely.
That'll be
I already have it planned out. I'm gonna be collaborating with this person. Don't even know I'm gonna be collaborating with. I just already had it in my head. 88 Clothing, my brother Eric, Cohesion, Black Memento. We're gonna be collaborating, and 4GK. You know, my brother Matt. You know, we're gonna be all three of us. We're gonna do a fashion show slash content slash just kick it event. You know, so it's gonna be all of that. There's gonna be some people walking. There's gonna be people taking pictures. There's gonna be all that going on. So,
okay. So, let's play a little game with your like this thing up. Well, it's not really a game. It's more like kind of getting to the mind of the rapper.
Right.
Okay. I like to call this one, what's your preference? All right. As an artist, what's your preference when you're on stage? Wireless mics, recorded mics? Which one's your preference?
I'm gonna go with I would rather have a cordless. Sometimes them wire mics be loud though. The wire mics be like,
they got a lot of bass in them.
They do. Sometimes I like the wire mics. But yeah, I do a lot of moving though. So it's like I like to not have to worry about walking and stepping over a string. So it's always gonna be the wired.
Okay.
I mean wireless.
Wireless. You prefer to have the wireless. Let's see here. When you write your songs, which is your preference when you write them? 16 or 12?
I'm used to 16. I like 12s. You the one who kind of got me on to doing 12s though, you know? So when we were doing a lot of our music, I know a lot of your beats had the 12s. I like doing 12s. I think 12s is cool. I would say 12 right now because I feel like I've been moving towards more of a space of trying to cut back on making my song so long, even though I did just do a song that was 4 verses. It was 2 for me, 2 from Lil Nuke. Deep song. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long, but you know, it's like we needed that. Yeah,
but, when you gotta tell that story, you need all that time.
Right, and that's what we were doing. But as far as like for content for Instagram, I've been moving towards wanting to make things shorter though. So that 12 bars is I'm leaning towards that 12 bars right now.
Okay, so let's just say you're performing, big show, and without you knowing, you're in a town. Let's say you're in Vegas, and you had no idea you have a bigger audience than you ever thought.
Right.
Whole front row is just women, dressing provocative.
Right.
And they started hearing you. They start hearing you perform, seeing you going back and forth. If they start throwing something on stage, what's your preference? Bras or panties?
If they start throwing stuff on the stage, hold on.
If they feeling you.
If they feeling me, and they start, I'm gonna say bras.
Okay.
Because I feel like I would rather that than some panties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know about this. Y'all might be throwing some dirty panties.
Yeah.
But I feel like bras would be safer. You know, like
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the bras.
Okay. Okay. So this one is gonna go more towards your writing process. When you're recording, what's your preference from a producer that's gonna be recording you?
Mm-hmm.
Punch in or full take every single time?
I want to do the full take every single time. I don't like doing punch-ins. Just because sometimes you got to kind of match the tone. I mean, I feel like I would do a punch-in, but I would rather just do it all the way through.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. So, I say last one here. So you're doing another show, and you got them turned up,
right?
Like you always do, but this is in a bar. What's your preference? That the crowd would be 80% drunk or 80% high, listening to Mr. Lewis on stage?
I would probably say high, because I feel like sometimes when you're drunk, you kind of out of it. You know what I mean? You might be too loud, or you might just be doing too much. I feel like when people get drunk, sometimes they be doing too much. It brings out you are just a little more like animated when you drunk. So I feel like when people high, they more kick back, they just chilling. But at the same time, again, when people are drunk though, it's like they are more into their feelings though. You know what I mean? People be like, they pour their heart, they'll pour their heart out to you, So, man, that's a hard one,
Yeah, because you have some fool out there drunk, rebuilding the culture.
I really love you, bro.
Yeah.
That's my brother, man.
Yeah,
we go way back, bro.
Yeah, they ain't doing that high.
Right. They too cool. They like.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
So I would say if we taking all the negatives out of it, as far as like acting wise, like they not gonna be negatively doing too much, and they not gonna be negatively doing anything. I don't know, man. I would say drunk. Let's just say.
Okay.
I want y'all to pour your heart out to me. I want y'all to let me know exactly how y'all feel.
Hell yeah.
Don't hold back.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So this is an extended version of the preference. What's your preference? Because I've heard and I've seen that you are recording people now. Someone told me that you're recording somebody like in the studio.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I'll be doing that here and there. When me and Matt, we had the studio. I was recording Say Less. I was recording just people who came through.
Okay. Yeah. So you recorded more than just one person.
Definitely.
Several people, right?
Yes.
And did they act differently when you record? You notice, is there any difference between each one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. As a preference, let's say you're on that system. You're recording somebody.
Right.
What's your preference? That they come to the booth to record with you, and they say, "Oh man, I got this dope ass beat. I'm gonna go ahead and write the song right now." And remember, they're paying you to record. Would you rather them write the songs right there and then in the studio, or memorize it at home come here with the beat that you loaded up and just be on it with the shit already memorized?
I mean, shoot, if they paying me and they want to come right in a session,
Yeah.
if it take them an hour to write, I feel like they can come however they want to come. If they pay me,
right,
you know,
right.
if you want to come, if you want to take longer writing and then recording, you can do that. You know, if you want to come
What if they're
prepared,
Mm-hmm.
then you could do that too. I feel like being prepared is always, well, I'm not even gonna say prepared, like you're unprepared coming to the studio and you didn't write.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people like doing that. Some people like being in the studio space and writing because it's like, okay, I'm in the mode, like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm in the setting. It feels like, you know, like I'm here for this, you know what I mean? It's like going to the gym to play basketball or being outside at the park playing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some people like going to the gym and it makes them feel like more in it, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, if you feel like you want to come here and you get more inspired and you want to write, you know, and all that, and then record, that's cool too. But you can get more done if you come already with your work, you know, ready to perform, you know, and to record. So,
okay, let's dig a little deeper into that. When Mr. Lewis decides to write his song, do you have to feel the beat first, or do you have to have a mind concept before? Okay, I got this song. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna get a beat. Oh, that beat works, and then does that just work that way, or is it like the beat will call you to start saying something? How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's usually that way. It's usually I listen to a beat and then it gives me what to say. It'll pull it out. Downloads. Yeah, you know. So that's usually how it is. But a lot of times, like if I'm going through something or I have something particularly in mind that I want to talk about, then I can be like, I can have something in mind, and then it's like now I'm looking for a beat that will match that, you know. So I do that every once in a while, as far as like have a concept already in mind and then find a beat. But most of the time I'm just letting the downloads come to the beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess another question I was going to ask you in this realm is, well, number one, you have a lot of albums out on Spotify, and you guys can check that out. Mr. Lewis, he's on all streaming platforms. He has several albums. My question is, with all these songs, do you ever feel that, oh, I shouldn't say that line too much because I said that 2 albums ago? Do you ever have that kind of situation ever happen? Damn.
Nah. I don't feel like that because I feel like music is kind of like talking, you know what I mean? It's like this is my mission. If my mission is to rebuild the culture, you're gonna hear it over and over and over. I'm gonna tell you over and over and over what we're doing, you know what I mean? We learning skills so we can be self-sufficient, we eating healthy, we doing our best to keep our families together and stay on top of ourselves and loving ourselves, practicing good healthy habits. You know, so it's like you're going to hear me say that over and over on this podcast and in person and when you talk to me. So you're going to hear it in my music as well. You're going to hear it over and over and over. So it's like I'm not finna be talking about nothing else, you know. So
okay, you have brought up something which made me want to transition to this. First of all, being healthy. First of all, the question I want to ask you is, when did you start and what made you start to take a more healthy lifestyle?
Man, really changing my diet.
What made you even want to start? 'Cause I know you probably was eating donuts before long ago.
Definitely.
But what made you change?
Man, just health, you know what I mean? Just seeing, hearing Dr. Sebi and hearing the cultural aspect of being connected to food and how it affects us, and all of those different things, and having health issues myself and knowing people who have health issues and being sick and all of that stuff made me want to change my diet, to be honest with you. So and then again, you know, listening to Dr. Sebi really made me feel culturally connected to wanting to change my diet, because hearing him talk about healing all diseases and things like that, and he was like, yeah, when the Asians or the Mexicans or any other culture is healing people or doing anything, they say the Asians are doing this, the Mexicans are doing this. And he was like, here I am, an African, a black man, and I'm healing all diseases. You know what I mean? I'm making people see again. I'm healing people from AIDS, cancer, all type of stuff. He's like, here I am, I'm doing this, and it's not just me doing it, we're doing this. The black community is doing this. You know what I mean? So that really made me feel connected, like, man, yeah, we got something, we is doing something out here powerful, that's world changing, that will change the world. And that really got me like hooked on to just wanting to be on that level, you know what I mean? Because I've always been a Panther at heart in general, and just against the system, you know what I mean? Against oppression, against just the things that they have been, conditioning us to do that's destructive for ourselves, So it's like when you start learning that we got to start, taking care of ourselves, teaching ourselves, homeschooling our children, and all these different things like that, it's like, man, I got to eat healthy, I got to take care of myself, if they're using the food to poison and to kill us, which is factual, it's like, man, I can't participate in that. You know what I mean? As much as I love to, because I was loving the food. It's not like I didn't like it.
Right.
But it's just like, man, I know I want to be healthy. I know I want to live long. So let me eat healthy. You know what I mean? Let me not get sick. Let me, stay away from all of these different bacterias and parasites that's in this other chemistry, because that's all it is. It's acid and alkaline foods, and you either eating to live or you eating to die.
That's gotta be another song. That's gotta be a song.
Yeah, definitely.
During the time when you were making this change to be healthy, some people would say the hardest way to make a change is white sugar would be very hard. Some people would say, I love fried chicken, I love steak, I love hamburgers,
cheese.
Right. What was the hardest food that was unhealthy to get over for you?
Cheese.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that. That was the last thing I put down. So that's why that's why I'm saying that, because it's like, first it was pork. You hear about pork, you hear about, why that's bad, and everybody, be wanting to stay away from pork. And then it was like, okay, let me cut out the beef, and I'm eating turkey. I'm like, okay, now let me stop eating turkey. Let me just put all that out. And then it was, or I'm still just eating cheese. And then it was like, okay, well, let me have a cheat day. And every once in a while, I'll go get me a chicken sandwich, a chicken burrito or something. So I'm not eating meat, throughout the week. I'm just eating it once a week,
right.
But I'm still eating my cheese, pizza, and all that. So yeah, I would definitely say cheese was the hardest.
Yeah. Some people will probably believe like, this man lived so goddamn healthy. Did he just like snap his fingers and he just was done with all that kind of food?
Nah.
Or it took like a...
Yeah, it took some months. It took some months for me to change. But it was also watching a lot of videos to help back up what I was learning and what I wanted to do. So it's like I was constantly reminding myself by watching videos, and then I was influencing the people around me to make the change as well. So they were making the change as well. So, I had backup with them, we staying on top of it together and things like that. So yeah, and I'm a pretty dedicated person. So it's like when I'm like, okay, I'm serious about making the change and sticking to it, I usually do that.
I guess what everybody's wanting to know, that you definitely sound like a strong-minded person.
And changing your diet will do that for you. You know what I mean? It really helps. I would say it helps in that. because changing your diet is one of the hardest things to ever
God,
stop doing.
Right.
So it's like once you can master that, you can really master anything. Like saying in a disciplinary way, like, okay, I'm gonna stop smoking, I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm gonna stop, you know, you can always keep yourself hooked into things that are unhealthy, but I'm saying, changing your diet will really help you with making those changes in around your life.
Do you ever, in this day and age, backslide
and eat meat or dairy? No, never.
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 So people come with
there's no reason to at this point. You know, they got fake meat now. You know what I mean? They got, you know, they got all types of different meats and pepperoni and all this stuff. To me, tastes like what meat would taste like. You know, so it's like, yeah, there's no reason for me to backslide as far as eating any of that type of stuff that I used to eat like that, but or candy or soda or anything like that. Like I haven't ate candy in so long.
Really?
Like years.
Damn.
You know, Starburst, Mambas. I used to tear some Mambas, and now later
Mambas was fire back then.
I'm telling you, I ain't none of that though.
That's crazy. See,
7-8 years.
There's this DJ by name DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia. He gave up sugar, and he said he used to do cocaine, and he said giving up sugar was harder than giving up cocaine. White sugar is harder. It's 100 times harder than giving up cocaine. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
And so much of us in this country got white sugar in our house. I want to thank Mr. Lewis, because one of the changes he's made, I tend to sometimes backslide, but I always have coffee in the morning. But I only make coffee with coconut sugar, thanks to this man here.
Right.
Before that, it was like, let me get that Dollar Tree white sugar, cheap as I can get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then sometimes, when my money's low, my credit won't get it. You know, I'll have to get messed with it. But the general idea is, I'm start. That was the start. You know what I mean? To try to make a change.
Right.
I like what you're doing, and I do remember you used to make videos about cooking. I want to see more of that.
Right. To be honest, I was in a different space back then than I've been in the past couple of years. You know, like a lot of people don't even know, like, you know what I mean? Like just the stuff that I be going through in my personal life, because I don't really talk about it. I don't show it. Yeah,
That's another question I was going to ask you. We don't hear about your love life in your music.
Right.
We don't hear about, what you going through, the breakups or the new loves that you have.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel like, to be honest, so I did have a project that I did with an producer, Bap Notes, and I had a bunch of songs that was about my breakup, you know what I mean, with my children's mom. Like,
that gotta be hard though too.
Yeah, and I still want to put the songs out because it's like, I love the songs, like we never put the songs out, but yeah, I just don't really talk about it though, just because I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of distracting to where I'm going, and what I'm trying to do, and it's like, even though I know people probably want to hear about it, people probably want to hear about how I continue to just keep going, you know what I mean? And not let that stuff affect me and throw me off my path. But that was my way of doing that, you know what I mean? Of staying on course by just not talking about it, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like that with a lot of different things. Sometimes it's like I just don't talk about stuff. I just be like, nah, because I don't want to give that any power over me, you know what I mean? Even like breaking up with the group that I was in, and how one of the people that used to be a homie, he dissed me. You know what I mean? He made a diss track about me because he thought I dissed him. He thought I dissed him in the homies.
So he's trying to make one.
So he made a diss track, but the only thing I said that I felt like he could have took as a diss was Why they act like I ain't put them on? You know, you owe me. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, bro, that's not a diss. I don't feel like that's a diss. Like, that's facts. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
That's facts.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know, but yeah, I wasn't dissing nobody. You know, I just be making general statements sometimes, you know. So he dissed me. I was gonna diss him back, but I was just like, you know, I ain't giving him no energy. You know,
right, because you are staying towards your path, like you said.
Right. Yeah, man. I try not to talk too much about just
things
negatives,
negative things. Okay, let's talk about some positive things. For the rapper out there who's loving your movement, but they don't move that way, but they want to collab with you. Could you collab with somebody if their music is not that positive? They're cussing, but you're not. Could you still collab with that person?
Yes, I could, as long as they are going to, you know, do a song with me that's going to be on empowering hype, you know, family hype, you know. I know it's different types of things going on in our minds other than just banging on each other. So it's like, yeah, when you on some positive stuff, but at the same time, if their whole brand is on some negative stuff, I'm not gonna do nothing with you. Like if I don't want to be seen, you know, working with the devil just because he trying to do something positive, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, come on, Cam, I'm trying to do a song with you. You know, the devil trying to do a song with me. It's like, nah, I'm good. You know, I don't need to. But yeah, if you cussing and you know, yeah, I can do something. It just depends.
Right. It depends. I get it. So, is there any music you have right now that's new that we can check out?
Yes, sir. So I just dropped a project. You might be able to. So y'all gonna be the first ones to hear this, okay? Because I wasn't gonna tell anybody this. So I dropped a project recently called Waste No Time. I dropped it on my birthday. It didn't get released until probably a couple weeks ago. I had some issues with, you know, one of the artists that I worked with on the project. He had to clear the song. Basically, you know, DistroKid was telling me that this artist, you know, they not letting people use their name basically on DistroKid. So they got to approve it. They got to let DistroKid know, hey, yeah, I was on this song and it's cool, you know, basically. So that kind of slowed down the process of me putting my album out. And then I dropped the album, and as I didn't even know. So somebody else had to tell me. They're like, hey, bro, you know, the song number 3, and I don't even hear nothing. So I'm like, what? I go check it out. I'm like, I listen. I'm like, damn, I uploaded the wrong file.
Oh my God, I hate doing that.
I uploaded the wrong file on the album. So now what I had to do was take it down. I had to take the songs down, which I did yesterday. I don't know. They might be on there still though. I don't know. You know, it takes a couple. They said it was going to take 2 to 5 business days, but you know, sometimes they work a little faster than what they disclaimers. So yes, y'all, I did drop a new project, but I did take it down for one song in particular that I did with this young lady named Shantae, who works with LaRussell and Malachi out there in the Bay Area. And people was loving this song, man. The people who's heard it, they was like, man, that's that one. They like, that's the one right there. So, and
what was the name of this album?
I feel the same way. It's called Waste No Time.
Waste No Time. Yeah, I'm not seeing it just
You're not seeing it? You on Spotify?
I'm on Tidal.
You on Tidal?
Which is pretty much the same.
Yeah, so if it's not on Tidal, they probably took it down. So, okay, so what I'm going to do when I get home then, I'm going to re-upload the project.
All right. So for you guys out there, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here with Mr. Lewis. I want to thank Mr. Lewis for coming on the podcast. I have to ask you the most important question I ask everybody. Is there a chance we can get you back on this podcast?
Of course.
Hey! Again, I want to thank you guys for coming to Support Your Boy Podcast. Do me a big favor if you never have. Please go on to YouTube. Not only watch these episodes, but go ahead and subscribe to the pod. It's gonna make the show bigger. I can get more information, more artists, more of anything. So I really appreciate it if you guys go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. I want to thank you guys for coming to Support Your Boy Podcast. Peace.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick?
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Make sure y'all continue to support my brother, like he was saying. Continue to tap in with everything that he got going on. You know, we gonna be working together as well, more on on some shows, more on some music. You know, I gotta get on some more beats.
Yeah,
DJ Lyon Head. Yeah, y'all just continue to be healthy out there. You know, make good decisions, keep your family together, write down your goals. You know, drink you some smoothies. You know, eat you a salad, grow you some food, learn you some skills, all that good stuff. You know, stay in God mode, stay in Goddess mode. We're gonna see y'all again. All right, peace.
Peace.